Hello and welcome to the first episode of uWu. uWu stands for a rating system that me and Leonard have been working on for like a few days, and it stands for Unbeatable, Whelming, Unplayable. So without too much getting into it, this content isn't going to be talking about all the good cards. It's going to be just talking about the cards that we think will generate the most discussion. So if you're looking for a more comprehensive list of what is playable, that'll be coming later on in the process. But anyways, let's begin. And the first card we want to talk about is Cinderella Ballroom Sensation. It's a
What a banger.
Yeah, it's a 1-in character, 1/2, 1 lore, Singer 3. What do you think, Leonard?
I'm pretty excited that we're doing this alphabetically because it means we get to start with Amber and we get to start with Cinderella 1, aka Cinderella Ballroom Sensation. I think this might be the single most impactful card in the whole set.
Okay. Why?
It just enables so. First of all, it's in the right color. You know, coming out of set 1, the first chapter. The steel wheel decks all over the place. Everybody loves playing an Amber Steel combo. Already playing a lot of songs. Already playing like a lot of song package. Now, granted, a lot of that stuff is 5 and above, but they're not going to stop printing impactful songs for this. And I think there's already enough there to get it over the finish line in established decks. And that's to say nothing of the decks that I think it goes into that it just makes better by its presence in terms of color combination. Amber Amethyst comes to mind. Sing Friends on the Other Side with this on turn 2 for free seems kind of busted. It makes one jump ahead better in the blue ramp decks, sapphire ramp decks, sorry. So yeah, I think Cinderella's great, and I think she's only going to get better as they print more cards.
Yeah, I agree with you on that assertion that she'll get better the longer the game goes on. Right now, I don't really see the appeal because she doesn't really do anything unique. You already have random dudes to sing the low-cost songs. And in Amber, Amethyst, Amber, doing Friends on turn 2 is good. But if you play a 3-mana 3/4 on turn 3, you kind of get to sing that Friends on turn 4 for free anyways. So it just, is the tempo advantage of being able to do that on turn 2 worth the fact that you have to play a 1-ink 1/2 in your deck? Which is like, I don't think...
The thing about Cinderella is that I think that, so Cinderella is kind of sneaky because I do think that she goes into a lot of decks, and I think that over the course of people brewing with the new set and the refinement process, she'll end up in a lot of really good decks.
Mm-hmm.
I think her being a 1-mana 1/2 for the quest for 1 lore that doesn't have any sort of other ability outside of being good at singing, it might be easy to overlook this as an aggro tool. This card is fantastic in aggro.
Oh, I agree.
A lot of the aggro decks that, their biggest problem is that once the turn 4 tank is coming down, like, they're going to get blown out, and there's just, it's just sort of the tempo of the way the games are played out. But, I mean, Cinderella 2 just enables you, especially in concert with a card we're going to be talking about here shortly on the list, just allows you to kind of, dump your whole hand, and then, playing a turn 3 Surfer Stitch and drawing the 2 cards off of it. That's Cinderella enables that play.
I will say that I haven't been fooling around with Surfer Stitch because I kind of found the package to be a little underwhelming in my eyes. But I will say this card is very good in that style of Amber Steel deck because it does everything the deck wants to do. It's a low attack character that also can generate temporary lore advantage by the fact that it gets to sing up.
Okay, I love it. I'm going to give it an unbeatable. How about you, Nick?
Right now I'm on Whelming, but that's just because of the cards. The certain song pool that we have right now, it just isn't up to snuff to really warrant playing a 1-mana 1/2, 1-ink 1/2. But, we have our first differing of opinion. But, it's not for us. It's just a spurn discussion. I think we've already talked about this card enough. Let's go on to the next one. The next one is actually 2 cards. It's the Queen package. Let's start with the payoff. The Queen Commanding Presence. 5-ink, 4/3, 2 lore, shift 2. And Who is the Fairest? Whenever this character quest, chosen opposing characters get -4 attack this turn, and chosen characters get +4 attack. So what's interesting about this card, Leonard?
What's interesting about this card is that they spent a lot of text to say, hey, we gave Amber a removal spell. And it's telegraphed, but it sort of is what it is. There's not like a ton of ways to play around it. and both sides of the coin, this and the baby, the queen that it shifts from, which is a 1 mana inkable vanilla 2/2 that quest for one lore. They're both inkable, so there's no downside to running this in some number in your decks. 4/3 decent sized body, and the quest ability is just flat out a removal spell in under most circumstances. Not hard for you to get your 2/2 to be a 6/2 attacking into their now 0/5 or something. And then, if that wasn't enough, off the top rope, the queen happens to cost precious 5 ink, and that means that she can sing all of Steel's best songs. The queen. I'm giving her Unbeatable.
So this is underpowered for me, actually playing with the card. Sure, it can dominate the combat step, but I think it'll be very powerful and limited. But in Constructed, just being able to dominate the combat step, in my mind, isn't good enough, simply because the fact is that sometimes you're going to play it as a control deck, and this card is very weak in the face of Be Prepared.
For the record, I did say all of my positives about the card in reverse order of their importance. I do think that the most important part of this queen by far is the fact that you can put it onto your turn 2 play can suddenly start singing your 5-drop songs.
Yeah,
that means that the queen completely replaces all of those terrible Captain Hook thinking happy thoughts slots that people were running. And I got it at the time. People were running it so that they could sing their songs better. Well, the queen does that a billion times better. Play the queen over those slots for sure.
I will say I didn't consider that ability, and it is a very cheap way to get a 5 cost into play. And I think that's enough for that, because clearly the other card is just fine. It's nothing too ridiculous, just a solid card. 1/2/2/1, just solid rate. So the next card we're going to talk about is 0 to Hero. It's a 2 uninkable action song. Count the number of characters you have in play. You may pay that amount of ink less for the next character you play this turn. So now this is on both of our lists, so I'm going to start off the discussion. I really like
this one.
I really like cards that give you the ability to temporarily get ahead on ink for a very low opportunity cost. And in this case, it's either 2 ink, which can easily generate more than 2 ink value temporarily, or you get to sing it, which is the real strength of this song, because you can. So say you start on turn 1 and you play any 1 cost character. Then on turn 2 you play a 2 cost character. On turn 3 you have a bunch of different options and permutations depending on if you have a 3 cost character, a 5 cost character, a 1 cost character, and a 4 cost character. It's just very flexible and very easy to turn that temporary advantage into physical board presence.
Yeah, I think this is the first card on the list that we're both going to agree in our rating on. I like 0 to Hero a lot. I think the short elevator pitch version of this is the card that Just in Time wanted to be. I always thought that everybody that was wasting time putting Just in Time in their decks was absolutely crazy. But this is an actual playable card, because when you're doing it right, it doesn't cost you any ink. Just in Time costs you 3 ink, which meant that the most it was saving you was 2. This can do way more than that. The floor is incredibly high, and the ceiling is even higher. I think this one is unbeatable. And I will say that this is the card I was alluding to when I was talking about Cinderella 1. Cinderella 1 plus 0 to Hero enables some blisteringly fast aggro starts in this format.
Yeah. I mean, like, it just allows you, especially when that deck wants to play like Stitch. And the draw Stitch is that. Which one is that? It's not Rockstar Surfer. It's Carefree. No.
The Rockstar is the one that draws when you.
Rockstar. Yeah.
Carefree Surfer is the larger one.
Yeah, Carefree Surfer is the solid one, and Rockstar is the broken one.
Yeah, like goldfishing in the new meta with the previous top dog, the Amber Steel list. Like, you can Cinderella 1 into your second turn, ink something, play 2 1-drops, tap your Cinderella 1 to play 0 to Hero, play Ariel 3, draw into your Whole New World.
Yeah,
if you've got 3 things in play and the Whole New World queued up, your opponent is about to play their second ink if they're on the draw. Seems alright.
Yeah, or you just do something like, play 3/1 drops and then Stitch Rockstar Hero, immediately tap 0 to hero to actually play some cards, and then you just sort of generate value.
Yeah, and it gets even more fun if you're playing it in an Amber Amethyst shell where you're 0 to heroing out stuff that bounces your other stuff to keep it safe and generate you value. 0 to hero is great. Unbeatable.
Exactly. It is unbeatable. And thank you.